Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It. Today, you and I are going to do a little time travel because as I record this for you, it is exactly 30 years since I wrestled my first match. So we're going to travel back to May of 1994 and the Wilson Senior High Gymnasium for an event which was titled Wilson War 94. And unfortunately, you're going to see yours truly, Mike Quackenbush, then known simply as M. Quackenbush, first initial only, long before M. Night Shyamalan stole my gimmick, garbed in the red, white, and blue, taking on Hurricane Holmes, I should say, who will be garbed in the green, yellow, and black, because we did a great job picking contrasting colors. I'm not going to comment on the quality of the wrestling you're about to see. And you should know that what we're about to watch, what's going to appear on screen here in a second, is a copy of a VHS tape. So not exactly 4K quality is what you're going to see here. Probably more like 4P. Let's go. I don't remember the last time I watched this in its entirety. I saw a couple clips from it in the last year or two. I know I did. Let's take a look at Wilson War 94. And we are starting off hot with a jump start. Oh, and I still have my terrible homemade Quackenbush t-shirt on. It's got like a Q in the center. Boy, we really do not have a clue what we are doing. I gotta rip the t-shirt off, as all guys with a physique as impressive as mine do. Busting out all the big moves here. A DDT this early? Oh. Kids, slow down. Slow down. And, not really sure what that was there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Kind of climbing up, doing my very best. Out into the aisleway we go. I do remember this. Right. I totally forgot. Hurricane Holmes has his bodyguard out at ringside with him, who's about to get slammed out on the perfectly placed mat for just such a spot. That was Jason Drexel was his name, and probably relevant to note here, all of us here, myself, Hurricane Holmes, and Jason Drexel, who's functioning as the bodyguard here, we were all seniors in high school. At this high school, it's 2 weeks before high school graduation. So I suppose to add a little, gravitas to this, or it's probably not the right word for this, but if Hurricane Holmes was going to have a bodyguard, it would have to be the toughest guy we could come up with. So we got the captain of the football team, right? Like, that's as tough as it gets in high school. Now, luckily, Jason, he was just like such a pleasure, and like a good sport, and he had a good sense of humor. And I don't think he's deceased when I speak about him in the past tense. Oh, what is that? I don't know. I think we're deviating too much from the plan here. If you're seeing what I'm wearing, and you're like, what on earth is that, Mike? I just want to say, the two biggest influences on me, certainly at this time, but also just overall, were the 1, 2, 3 Kid and Jushin Thunder Liger. And maybe if you looked at those two sets of ring gear next to each other, and then you saw what I was wearing, you might think, I kind of get it. Also, maybe not. Back in we go. You can really see the lighting of this, whatever this camera rig was that was out there shooting it, and I'm sure you've noticed, it is a 2-camera shoot that's going on, as I'm trapped here in the figure 4 leg lock. We're just burning through all the material real fast. This match, I don't know why, ended up airing on a local cable channel like a couple weeks later, because media turnaround times were a lot slower back then. And I remember, maybe 2-3 weeks went by, and then Burke's Cable Channel 28 aired this one afternoon around 5 in the afternoon. And I remember a next-door neighbor of ours, Mrs. Wilkinson, called my mom on the phone and was like, I think your son is on TV right now. Because certainly my parents were not aware that this was going on, let alone that, 2 weeks prior, I was wrestling in front of 1,000 people in my high school gymnasium. Wow, what a terrific slam. I did no posting there whatsoever. I am so sorry, Gordon. I'm so sorry. Here comes some terrible Samoan drop. These are basically what we're doing here is like an unending succession of things we had seen really famous, like on a national, international level, wrestlers do, right? The Samoan drop at the time was Tatanka's finishing move. So that's just kind of what this is. It's a mishmash of moves that we know. It was probably a smart idea for us to not start with, like, attempting to chain wrestle or even a lockup, because I'm sure that would have all been terrible. It looks like we're wrestling in an eclipse right now. Actually, the fact that you can't see this is probably for the best, home viewer. I believe we fall off the ropes here. Yeah, I remember this now very distinctly. We were trying to do a superplex and we fell, and it just looked like a DDT. And like any other rookie that doesn't have a clue, we're just going to go right back to the spot that we just botched up, and we're just going to do it again, so that it's 100% clear to the audience that the last one was a mistake. This is what that was supposed to be. Anyone watching, I don't recommend that you do that ever. I do remember. Wow, I see how much I'm struggling with the ropes there. And there it is, a big lousy superplex. But I see in the background a couple people seem to like it, so thank goodness for that. Right, and my footwork is just terrible. I have no ring presence at all. Just fumbling through moves here. Anyway, my recollection of this was that the ring that you're seeing here, it was provided by Damien Kane. And if you really know your ECW trivia, that name might ring a bell, because boy, is that a very trivial note in the history of ECW. Oh, big drop kick off the top. And I didn't kill myself, or at least I was resilient enough as an 18-year-old to not have felt how bad I just killed myself on that. I think that's the best looking thing I've done in this entire match so far. And of course, I'm selling more than Hurricane Holmes here. I'm probably so blown up, I'm so impossibly gassed. Anyway, I remember, oh no, ref bump. We're just getting into the heat, and we've bumped the ref. Who put this together? Who structured this? Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. So, the bodyguards beat me up here. I guess, at least this had some heat. At least we had thought to put a second act in this. Not that we knew to use those terms at all. We certainly did not at this stage. We were green as salad back then. But we knew there should be a section in the middle where I get beat up a whole lot. Ah, yes, and we did use a chair in this one. The chair shots, as you're no doubt going to notice here, probably look really wonky. And that's me being generous. They look really wonky. In part, I think there's probably two reasons for this. Number one, we wanted to be careful. But number two, we also didn't practice the chair shots at all. So I recently discovered, during the pandemic, footage of us rehearsing this match. We practiced this match at the one and only training center in all of Reading, Pennsylvania, which was also run by Damien Kane. We practiced this like the week before, because as you can imagine, this was a huge deal. We're wrestling in our own high school gym. We have a very handsome crowd out there. We wanted to make the best possible impression, given our very limited abilities. And we did practice this match. I know it may not seem that way now, watching it back, but we did not practice the chair shots at all. We just thought, I guess the adrenaline will be pumping, brother, and we'll just do it out there. But of course, then they ended up looking terrible. This little bit that you're seeing here, where Hurricane Holmes is coming off the top turnbuckle numerous times with elbow drops, is just ripped directly from the Macho Man Randy Savage's retirement match against the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. And we thought the fact that Savage did the flying elbow so many times is what made this match feel epic. I guess because we did not have, like the analytical goggles to realize, no, what made that match epic was the build, how over both those guys were, the equity in Savage's finishing move, and about 100 other reasons that's why it felt epic. And none of those things were working for us here at Wilson Moore 94. So I think we did maybe 4 elbow drops, right? I think Savage and Warrior did 6. 4 was more than enough for this crowd. They got the point, and they didn't particularly like it. Here I guess I'm mounting a comeback by shaking my arms a little bit, At least I did something. And I think we're getting close to going home here, right? Because the comeback, it's going to be pretty direct. I don't think we're going to be doing a bunch of false finishes. Um, the two coolest moves in all of wrestling at this time were the Frankensteiner, which was just performed extremely poorly by me, and the moonsault, uh, which I think is to follow here in just a second. So I think I'm going to plant Hurricane Holmes here close to the corner. Right, yep, this is good. We should be going home. We probably should have gone home minutes ago. This is dreadful. Remember how loose the ropes were? When I come around into this moonsault and I just landed knee first right on his chest. I am very sorry about that. Thank goodness this one is over already. I'm getting jumped. I'm getting jumped by Drex the Destroyer in the ring here. Jason Drexel on the attack. I remember getting in some trouble actually with the football coach after this, because in a moment here, and it's all breaking down, and people are running around, and it's chaotic. I throw Jason Drexel out of the ring, and he smashes his face on the edge of the ring here, and he had a black eye, and the football coach was really quite angry with me. Some tepid applause there from the audience as this thing is finally mercifully winding down after a lackluster performance on my part. And yet, when this was over, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.